Aloha and welcome to the 2022 HURT 100 race briefing. My name is Steve and I'll be sharing some important information with you about our upcoming race. First, we want to give a big shout out to Na'alahele, to our partners, and to all of our volunteers who have put in an incredible amount of work. Without them, this event would not be possible. We'd also like to give a big thank you to all of you runners for your patience and your understanding as we navigated the challenges of COVID-19 and all of the requirements that were necessary for us to put on the event this year. This will be the 21st running of the HURT 100. And to get things started, I'd like to introduce you to the man who needs no introduction, my friend, the legendary Mr. John Samuelson.
Aloha everybody, welcome. This is our 22nd HURT 100. We missed a year last year, started in 2001, and HURT is really an evolution of four guys that found a 20-mile course up in Tantalus and came to our club, HURT, which was established in 1982, and we've been helping them put it on together, and it's a lot of fun. It's very easy. It's like a freeway out there, and it's all been trimmed and everything. It's impossible to get lost on this course. You will not get lost the way it's marked, and we just wish that you would have fun with your fellow runners mostly, and the aid stations, and we wish that you would have a complete experience. There's certain areas that you can cut the course, and it's very obvious where you can cut the switchbacks, but that's not running 100 miles. You don't want to go home and look in the mirror and say, I ran 97 miles or 94 miles or whatever. So we'll leave that to you. We have excellent medical staff this year, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be different. And we hope to, in future years, get back to the old race. But in the meantime, we have a lot of people that have worked very, very hard to put it together, and there are going to be a lot of changes, which you'll see, and have fun.
By now, you should have read the Book of HURT. If you haven't, please go to our website at hurt100.com. You'll see a link for the Book of HURT. Your crew and your pacers should read it too. It's very important to understand and comply with the rules. Violations of the rules by runner, pacer, or crew could result in a disqualification of the runner. We always expect courteous behavior and sportsmanlike conduct from our runners towards our volunteers, hikers, and fellow runners. In keeping with the HURT mission statement of no sponsors and no assholes, we will not allow any disrespectful behavior towards any of our volunteers. There are a couple runners that are not here this year because they did not believe in that objective. Runners will be responsible for the behavior of their pacers and crew. Rule violations by pacers or crew will result in disqualification of the runner. I'll talk more about the roles and rules for crews and pacers throughout the briefing. Don't litter. I think that's self-explanatory. We'll leave it at that. Muling is not permitted. Stashing of supplies is not permitted. Don't leave any gear up at Paoa Flats. That's considered littering. Aid from crew can only be given within the confines of the aid station. While many of us love dogs, please leave your dog at home, as there are some runners that are very afraid of dogs, and this event is for the runners. So please keep your dogs at home. No course cutting allowed. Follow the ribbons. If in doubt, refer to your map. Check in at every aid station. Make sure that the timing volunteer knows your bib number. If you happen to stay in the aid station for more than 30 minutes, please make sure that the aid station captain or a timing volunteer knows that you're still in the aid station so we can track you appropriately. If you need to drop from the event, you must notify the aid station captain. we can't have you simply walking off the course without letting us know. If you don't tell us that you're dropping, we will have no choice but to assume that you're lost out in the jungle somewhere, and we will notify search and rescue, which is a very big deal. So please make sure you let an aid station captain know if you have to drop. Cutoff times are strictly enforced. You must exit and not re-enter the aid station prior to the following times on your fifth loop. You must be out of the Makiki aid station and back on the course for your fifth lap by 11 a.m. Sunday morning. You must be out of the Manoa aid station and back on the course by 1:30 p.m. Sunday afternoon. You must be out of the Nu'uanu aid station and back on the course by 3:30 p.m. Sunday afternoon. If you miss the cutoff, we cannot let you back on the course. Hurt is a cupless race. Please be sure to bring your own cup for cold fluids. Hot fluids will be served in disposable cups. Runners are allowed one pacer at a time. Pacers are allowed after 60 miles or 5 p.m. on Saturday night, whichever comes first. Pacers may only start from an aid station, and you can change them as often as you like, as long as you only have one pacer at a time. Pacers must also fill out a COVID questionnaire, which is available at the aid stations. They must also provide proof of vaccination if they have not already uploaded that information. They must have a temperature check that will be performed by our medical staff. Runners are 100% responsible for their pacers' behavior and well-being. The Paoa Flats Boardwalk is not to be used by any runner on any loop anytime during the event. Runners, if you see another runner utilizing the boardwalk at Paoa Flats, please bring it to their attention and report it to the next aid station captain upon your arrival. We will not weigh you or take your blood pressure, and we will not dispense any medications. Runners will be totally responsible for all their own gels, energy bars, electrolyte tablets, aspirins, etc. If any aid station or the race director think that you're unable to continue, we reserve the right to pull you from the race. Dehydration is a serious problem. We recommend that you carry 32 to 64 ounces of fluid between each aid station. I know my Canadian friends are going to laugh at me, but hypothermia in Hawaii is a real thing, especially when it's raining, like it is right now, and you're up on one of the ridges, like I am right now. So please be prepared. Crews and family will be responsible for their own food and drink, so we ask that they do not use the runners' aid stations. For safety reasons, crews are not allowed to go out on the course after 5 p.m. without notifying the aid station captains. It's very easy to get lost after dark. Okay, let's talk about course records now. The ultra fast Tracy Garneau is the women's record holder at 24 hours and 6 minutes. She set that record in 2010. And the men's record is held by the highly esteemed Mr. Gary Robbins at a blistering 19 hours and 35 minutes. He set that record in 2013. Now, please note that both of these runners are Canadians. So maybe it has something to do with training when it's 25 below zero and eating a lot of maple syrup. I don't know. But a prize of $500 will be given for any new course record established to the winning male and female runner. This is a 100-mile race, but we will give recognition to anyone who finishes 67.5 miles, what we call the fun run. You must go to the Paradise Park station on the 4th loop to receive credit. We will not provide transportation back to the start finish, but with other crews, it's never been a problem. Recognition basically means you get a high five and an attaboy or an attagirl. On Sunday night, please help us clear the start-finish area as soon as possible, as we're all tired and want to get home. We usually have to threaten people to get them to give up their chairs, so please understand and help. COVID restrictions require a limit on the time you may linger at the finish and a maximum number of people allowed to gather at the Nature Center at any given time. So please be understanding if the staff gives you a gentle nudge to get you up and on your way. Runner bag pickup is from 4 to 6 p.m. on Friday, January 14th in the Manoa Valley District parking lot. That's on Manoa Road, closest to the corner of Lowry Avenue, just past the bus stop on the right. Look for the sign that says Packet Pickup. One car at a time, please wear your mask and stay in your car. Show your ID and we'll hand you your bag through the window. There are many important items in your runner bag. There will be 2 COVID questionnaires, the HURT 100 COVID-19 Runner Survey and the State of Hawaii COVID-19 Vaccination Status Attestation Form. Please bring both of them with you on race day morning for check-in. The parking permit and parking rules for Halau Kumana will also be in the bag. Parking permit needs to be filled in and displayed on your windshield. We'll talk more about parking a little bit later. Additionally, you'll also find some really cool swag in your bag. Your race bib will not be in your bag. You'll receive it when you check in race morning. I'd like to take a moment now to send a sincere mahalo to all of our very generous supporters of the 2022 HURT 100. We truly could not provide such a quality race experience without them. Most are legacy members of the HURT Ohana, and we are just so pleased to have them on board once again. As always, they're ready to supply all of your training and racing and leisure needs. Check out the HURT 100 website for links to our 2022 partners.
Squirrel's Nut Butter, Scratch Labs, Drymax, Goo Energy Labs, Menehune Water Company, Two Toms, Kokua Sun Care, Uloha Outfitters, Runners High, Athletic Brewing Company, Outside Rocks, and Honolulu Disposal Service.
Big mahalo to all of you guys. Parking is always a challenge, so please help us maintain our good relationship with the community by following these simple rules. Try to carpool. If you're coming alone, take a taxi or try using a rideshare like Uber or Lyft. And please make sure to plan your transportation well in advance. At the Nature Center, there will be 2 different parking permits, one for the runners and the other for the volunteers. Your parking permit is in your runner bag with your bib number on the front and the parking rules printed on the back. There's also a separate list of parking rules for the Halau Kumana parking lot in your bag. Please put the name and the cell phone number of the driver on your permit and display it in your windshield. Make sure that all of your drivers read both sets of the instructions. Prior to the start, only aid station volunteers will be allowed to drive above the Nature Center entry gate. Runners must park or get dropped off below the gate prior to start. No one will be allowed to drive up and drop off a runner as we need the area for aid station setup. All runners leaving their car for the duration of the race must park below the gate on Makiki Drive. Make sure that your car is completely off the roadway and your tires are not touching the asphalt or you risk getting towed. There is parking in the small lot by the gate and down in the Halau Kumana School lot that you'll see as you drive up the road. Halau Kumana School works very hard to maintain the native Hawaiian ecosystem, so please do not go beyond the yellow marking tape even if you're on foot. There will be trash bins and a portable toilet in the lot, so please use them and not the grass. There will be a parking lot attendant throughout the race. Please obey their instructions. It's very important to know that the Halau Kumana lot will be locked promptly at 6:45 Sunday evening, so make sure that you get your vehicle out of there or it will be locked until Tuesday morning because Monday is the Martin Luther King holiday. After you park, you'll walk up the road with your drop bags. Please keep the noise down because there are residents that live on the road and we don't want to disturb them. After the first loop, crew cars with displayed permits can drive up past the gate to drop off crews and supplies. But there is extremely limited parking above the gate, so please try to park below the gate if you plan on hanging out at the aid station for a while. We will have reserved spaces for deliveries and race officials, so please keep these spaces clear. Remember that gathering restrictions only allow one crew member at a time. Also, you may see cones marking off private residences and unsafe areas, and no parking at the caretaker's house or driveway. At the Paradise Park aid station in Manoa, there will be no access for cars, crew, or family during the first loop, no exceptions. Much too congested over there. You may access Paradise Park after 10:45 a.m. Saturday morning. Paradise Park is on private property and they allow us to use their lot. They have a $7 parking fee that you'll pay directly to the parking lot attendant, and that's good for the 2 days of the event. There's limited but free parking along Manoa Road, and that's about a 10-minute walk to the aid station. Please make sure that you don't block anyone's driveway. The extremely limited park at Nu'uanu Jackass Ginger aid station is for aid station volunteers only. No crew, no pacers or families can park there. You may drop off a pacer, but you may not park there. For pacers who are taking an Uber or Lyft, which we highly recommend, the address for the Nu'uanu aid station is 4069 Nu'uanu Pali Drive. Lastly, wherever you find parking throughout the race, please don't leave any valuable items in your car. Even though there'll be parking lot attendants, they cannot be responsible for any loss or break-ins. You must check in with us race day morning to receive your bib so that we know you're running. The mandatory runner check-in is from 4:30 a.m. to 5:45 a.m. The check-in tent will be near the top of the park road as you're heading up towards the nature center on the left after you pass through the gate. Please wear your mask and practice social distancing at all times. First, look for the sign that says temperature check and COVID questionnaire. We'll need both of your completed COVID questionnaires. That's the HURT 100 Runner COVID-19 survey and the State of Hawaii COVID-19 vaccination status attestation form. Please review all of the questions on the HURT 100 Runner COVID-19 survey form in advance. If you cannot answer no to all of these questions, you will not be allowed to participate in the race. Please try to fill in both of the COVID questionnaires in advance, as it will make for a much faster and smoother process. You'll have a temperature check performed by one of our medical volunteers. Your temperature needs to be less than 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit in order to participate. You cannot receive your bib without the completed COVID questionnaires and a normal temperature reading. If you forget your forms, we will have more on hand. You'll receive a Vaxlet bracelet, which must be worn until you return to your car after you finish the race on Sunday. Once you've completed the temperature check, the COVID questionnaires, and put on your Vaxlet bracelet, you'll continue over to the sign that says Runner Check-In, and that's where you'll receive your race bib. Race bibs must be visible to race officials at all times and pinned to the front of your clothing. Once you've completed the check-in, please exit the area as soon as possible so the arriving runners can check in too. And then head over to the sign that says Runners Waiting Area. There'll be 3 portable toilets in the upper area, as well as the permanent restrooms, but the bridge will be roped off until the start. Unfortunately, Big John Samuelson will not be able to join us at the Nature Center this year, so in his absence, the well-regarded Mr. Stan Jensen from the island of California will be overseeing the start-finish line. At approximately 5:55 a.m., Stan and the legendary PJ Samuelson will ask all runners to gather on the bridge with your mask up over your mouth and nose, and the race will start promptly at 6 a.m. by the blowing of the conch shell. Bring your drop bags to the start Saturday morning. Drop bags will leave from the Nature Center at 5:50 a.m. Mark your drop bags with your name, race number, and location. Remember, we have 3 aid stations. We have Makiki, which is also known as the Nature Center, where the start finish. We have Manoa, also known as Pirates of Paradise. And we have Nu'uanu, which is also known as Jackass Ginger. Please keep the bags within the dimensions of 18 inches high, 18 inches wide, and 24 inches long. You are responsible for collecting your drop bags at the end of the event from Halau Kumana parking area by 6:15 p.m. on Sunday, January 16th. As aid stations close, the bags will be transported back to Halau Kumana. Any items not collected by that time will be donated, recycled, or discarded. Feel free to collect your own drop bags from each site if you finish early or if you drop from the event. Now we'll talk about trail marking. Veteran runner and many-time finisher of the Hurt 100, Mauricio Puerto and his crew have done a fantastic job marking the course. As John said earlier, it's almost impossible to get lost. Just follow the appropriate ribbons and directional signs. As you start out from the Nature Center for the first leg of the race, you'll follow the white ribbons up and over to Paradise Park Aid Station. When you depart Paradise Park, you will then follow the lime green ribbons up and over to the Nu'uanu Aid Station. When you depart the Nu'uanu Aid Station, you'll then follow the orange ribbons up and over, back down to the Nature Center. And then you get to do the whole thing again and again and again and again. You may notice a few gentle rolling hills along the way and maybe an odd tree root here and there and maybe a couple of rocks occasionally. There are several out and back areas where you may notice two different colored ribbons in the same location. Don't worry, just follow the appropriate color and signs and it'll take you to the next aid station. Do not follow the blue ribbons. Blue is bad. Blue ribbons are used to block trails or dead ends, so do not follow the blue ribbons. Keep in mind that occasionally kids or maybe a disgruntled hiker might pull down a few of our ribbons, so make sure that you carry your map with you at all times, just in case. Because of the COVID pandemic, certain restrictions and requirements were mandated upon us in order for us to get the various permits we needed to put on the event this year. Everyone must be vaccinated with appropriate proof, runners, pacers, and volunteers. Everyone must wear a face mask covering your nose and your mouth when you're in the aid station and when you can't maintain a 6-foot social distance. At the aid station, runners and pacers must sanitize their hands before they enter the aid station. Only runners and pacers will be allowed in the aid station this year. All runners and volunteers must check in with medical to get your COVID bracelet before entering any aid station. We will be checking temperatures of everyone upon entering the aid stations, runners, pacers, and volunteers. Runners must open their own bottles and packs. Volunteers will help pour the fluids into your pack or into your bottles. Food will be served in single servings this year. There may be some additional COVID-19 updates prior to the race. We will update you either on the website or by email or race day morning. Only one crew member per runner will be allowed at any given time. Crews will be allowed at Makiki when your runner completes his or her first loop. No crew will be allowed at Nu'uanu throughout the entire race. Crews will not be allowed at Manoa for Loop 1. Crews will be allowed at Manoa Aid Station after 10:45 a.m. on Saturday. There will be a $7 parking pass that can be purchased at Paradise Park, good for the remainder of the event. Crews must not enter the aid station and must stay in the designated crewing areas. Pacers may join the runner after 60 miles or beginning at 5 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. Pacers must start at one of our 3 aid stations. Pacers must check in with medical staff no sooner than 30 minutes in advance of their runner's expected arrival time. Pacers must show proof of vaccination if they have not already uploaded it. They must sign an attestation form and have a temperature of less than 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Pacers may not start their pacing without a bib and a wristband provided after clearance. Pacers are allowed to start from Nu'uanu, but they cannot park there, so please plan ahead and use another means of drop-off and pickup. When you're out on the course, you'll see the infamous Hurt Safety Patrol. The Hurt Patrol will be led by Mr. Jeff Fong this year, and as reflected in the group's name, the Hurt Safety Patrol is there to ensure your safety while you're out on the course. Whether you're a runner or a pacer, the Hurt Patrol will be there for you should anything unexpected occur. Hurt Patrollers will be on the course and at the aid stations throughout the event. So if you happen to come upon some bad luck and you need assistance, whether it's directions, medical needs, or anything race related, please don't hesitate to ask. The Hurt Patrol cannot give you aid. They cannot and will not give you water, Cliff Bars, goos, ibuprofen, batteries, headlamps, etc. Speaking of headlamps, whatever aid station you find yourself at after 2 p.m. on Saturday, it is highly recommended that you take a headlamp or whatever your preferred lighting system is back with you out on the trail. Every year we have a runner or two approach a patroller begging for a flashlight, saying they didn't expect it to get dark so quick. Sorry, dude, you're on your own. Please understand that the majority of the patrol team are not medical professionals, so they can only provide minimal assistance. In the case of a serious injury, the patrol will conduct the race emergency procedures to ensure that the person in need is properly taken care of, as well as remain with them until they are tended to. The patrol will also assist the race directorate to see that all are playing by the rules and respecting the INA. Please be sure to bring out whatever you take out onto the trails with you. We have zero tolerance for littering. And remain on the course route. The boardwalk up on Paoa Flats is strictly off limits. Do not use the boardwalk. It actually becomes quite a safety hazard because it's slippery when it's wet. It's starting to fall apart, so don't use the boardwalk. Any entrants found running along the boardwalk will be warned, reported, and risk disqualification. Now we'll talk about aid station etiquette very briefly. Please cover your mouth and nose while in the aid stations. Please be sure that your number is recorded by a timing official upon entry. Crewing will be outside of the aid station, not inside of the aid station. Food is upon request. There will be no self-serve this year. Please open your own bottles and packs, and we'll have a volunteer fill up the fluids using pitchers. In closing, I just want to say you've trained hard for this. It's going to be very challenging, but it's also going to be a spectacular experience that you will never forget. So get some rest, and we'll see you at the starting line. On behalf of the Hurt Directorate, all of the volunteers, and the entire Hurt Ohana, we wish you all a great race. Aloha. I almost forgot. If you have any friends or family that want to follow the race online, we'll have all the tracking information on the hurt100.com website. I'm going to go get a couple waves.